She celebrated firing a single dad, until the boss asked, "Where is he?" The applause echoed through the glass office like a victory celebration, while one exhausted single father quietly carried a cardboard box filled with his life. His co-workers looked away. Some smiled. One woman even raised a glass to celebrate his firing. She believed she had finally gotten rid of the weakest employee on the team. But less than an hour later, the company's billionaire owner stepped into the office, looked around in silence, and asked one chilling question that instantly drained every smile from the room. Where is he? That single question would expose a truth no one expected and leave an entire company drowning in regret. Before we continue, if you believe kindness always matters and everyone deserves a second chance, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Beyond Inspire. Your support helps us bring more emotional stories that touch hearts around the world. Michael Carter had never imagined his life would become a daily battle just to survive. 3 years earlier, his wife Emily had lost her life after a sudden illness, leaving him alone to raise their 7-year-old daughter, Lily. Every morning before sunrise, Michael prepared breakfast, braided Lily's hair as best as he could, packed her school lunch, and rushed across town to reach the corporate office where he worked as a financial analyst. He was talented, honest, and incredibly hardworking, but his responsibilities as a single father often forced him to arrive a few minutes late or leave immediately after work to pick Lily up before daycare closed. Most people never noticed how much he sacrificed. They only saw a tired man wearing the same worn-out suit every week. His department manager, Vanessa Brooks, noticed everything, but not with compassion. She believed emotions had no place in business. To her, Michael's family responsibilities were excuses. She openly favored younger employees who stayed late, attended every office party, and never questioned impossible deadlines. Over time, she began assigning Michael unrealistic workloads while praising everyone else. Whenever Michael quietly completed impossible tasks, someone else received the credit. Still, he never complained. He simply smiled, thanked everyone, and returned home to his daughter. Lily often waited by the apartment window every evening. The moment she saw her father's old car pull into the parking lot, she ran downstairs and wrapped her tiny arms around him. No matter how difficult his day had been, that hug reminded him why he kept fighting. Then came the company's biggest merger in years. Everyone worked overtime preparing financial reports worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Unbeknownst to almost everyone, Michael discovered a serious accounting error hidden deep inside the reports. The mistake could have cost the company millions if it reached investors. Instead of making a scene, he quietly stayed overnight, fixing every document himself. By sunrise, the crisis had disappeared. Vanessa presented the corrected reports during the executive meeting. She accepted every compliment. Not once did she mention Michael's name. Days later, Michael arrived 12 minutes late after Lily developed a high fever that morning. Before he could even sit down, Vanessa called him into the conference room. Without asking a single question, she handed him termination papers. She spoke about professionalism, commitment, and company standards. Michael looked at the papers silently. He didn't beg. He didn't argue. He simply asked whether he could keep the family photo sitting on his desk. Minutes later, he walked through the office carrying a cardboard box filled with framed memories, a small green plant Lily had given him, and years of loyal service reduced to a few personal belongings. Some employees felt uncomfortable, others whispered. Vanessa smiled as several coworkers congratulated her for finally removing the weakest link. Someone even ordered champagne. For the first time in weeks, Vanessa believed she had complete control of the department. Then everything changed. Just before lunch, the elevator doors opened. Out stepped Richard Hamilton, the billionaire founder and CEO who rarely visited headquarters in person. Executives immediately rushed toward him. Employees straightened their jackets. The celebration stopped. Richard greeted no one. His face remained unusually serious. He looked across the office before calmly asking one question. "Where is Michael Carter?" Silence spread across the floor. Vanessa forced a confident smile and proudly explained that Michael had been terminated for repeated lateness and poor reliability. Richard's expression hardened. He slowly turned toward her. Then he asked another question. "Who authorized firing the employee who personally saved this company from losing $38 million last week?" No one moved. Several employees looked at each other in complete shock. Richard continued walking through the office while explaining that during the merger review, independent auditors had discovered someone had corrected a catastrophic financial mistake before the reports reached investors. Their investigation revealed only one employee had worked overnight alone. Michael Carter. The board had planned to promote him that very morning. Instead, he had been fired. Vanessa's confidence disappeared instantly. Richard demanded Michael's complete personnel file. Within minutes, he discovered every overtime request Michael had submitted had been rejected. Performance reviews had been altered. Credit for major projects had repeatedly been assigned to others. Several complaints praising Michael had mysteriously vanished. Everything pointed towards systematic workplace bullying. The celebration that filled the office earlier that morning suddenly became unbearable. Richard immediately ordered human resources to locate Michael. Meanwhile, Michael sat outside Lily's school wondering how he would explain losing his job. He smiled when Lily climbed into the car, because children should never carry adult burdens. That evening, they shared instant noodles for dinner. Michael pretended they were having a special picnic. Lily laughed anyway. After she fell asleep, Michael quietly opened his laptop and began searching for another job. His savings would only last 3 weeks. The next morning, a black luxury vehicle stopped outside the apartment building. Neighbors stared through their windows. Michael assumed someone had the wrong address. Instead, Richard Hamilton stepped out personally. Michael looked completely confused. Richard apologized. Not through lawyers, not through assistants, face to face. He admitted the company had failed a man who deserved respect instead of humiliation. He offered Michael his job back immediately. Michael politely thanked him but declined. He explained that trust, once broken, is difficult to rebuild. Richard nodded. He understood. Then he made another offer. Not just reinstatement. A promotion to Director of Financial Integrity, reporting directly to the executive board. More importantly, flexible hours that allowed Michael to remain the father Lily needed. Michael hesitated. He wasn't thinking about the salary. He was thinking about whether the company could truly change. Richard promised it would, and he intended to prove it. Over the following months, everything inside the company transformed. Managers received leadership training focused on empathy instead of fear. DePull evaluations became transparent. Pacrunts received flexible scheduling. Mental health support expanded. Recognition programs rewarded honesty rather than office politics. Vanessa's investigation uncovered multiple abuses of authority. She was dismissed from the company. Many employees later admitted they had stayed silent because they feared losing their own jobs. Michael never celebrated her downfall. He simply hoped she would someday understand the damage caused when ambition replaces compassion. Months later, the company hosted its annual awards ceremony. This time, the loudest applause belonged to Michael. Not because he had saved millions, not because of his promotion, but because everyone finally understood the quiet strength hidden behind his humble smile. Richard invited Lily onto the stage. She proudly hugged her father as hundreds of employees stood together in a long-standing ovation. Many wiped tears from their eyes. Michael looked across the audience and realized something extraordinary. Sometimes losing everything becomes the beginning of receiving what you truly deserve. The company hadn't simply gained a better executive, it had rediscovered its humanity. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video. Share it with someone who needs hope today. Leave your thoughts in the comments. And subscribe to Beyond. Inspire for more emotional stories that remind us kindness can change lives. Before we end, tell us in the comments. If you had been in Michael's place, would you have returned to the company or walked away forever?